Hello everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine day? This is Guruji at your service. So today I want to make a video explaining the overactive solar plexus chakra and the underactive sacral chakra. So the solar plexus, it deals with the mental body. The mental body is the body of the mind, right? So it's the mind. An overactive mind and an underactive sacral chakra, which deals with emotions and feelings. So in this world, everybody's overthinking, overusing the mind, right? The mind is being overly used more than it should be used. And people's feelings the sacral chakra is underactive, meaning people are suppressing their emotions and how they truly feel, right? In order to serve the mind, but it's not in a good way. Okay, so what the mind does is it takes you out of the present. The mind, the mental body, when you are thinking thoughts, this takes you immediately out of the present moment. So, and the present moment is the only thing that is real, the only thing that exists. So when you take yourself out of the present moment, you take yourself out of the only thing that is real. So you take yourself into this false world of words and language and concepts called thoughts. All this does for you is confuse your soul. All this does is it causes suffering, unnecessary suffering. And everybody in this world doesn't want to experience suffering. So why do we do this to ourselves? Well, it's kind of, we get programmed, right? We're programmed into doing this shit to ourselves because we think that we have to think in order to survive in this world and make it in this world. But that is false. What we need to do is actually feel into our experience, right? Fully surrender to the five senses. We're avoiding the five senses because when you think with the mind, you're just avoiding the present moment. And the present moment is just a projection in a receiving of information from the five senses. When you think, you're literally you're denying your senses. You're denying your intuitive faculties, right? Your intuition, which deals with your sacral chakra. Just continuously deny your five senses. So what we need to do is feel life, feel your existence, feel, right? It's very simple, but it's like we get programmed into feeling things, right? We want to avoid it with the mind, but that just makes it worse. Avoid pain with the mind, avoid. We need to embrace and feel all. Embrace and feel all. Right? Listen. Embrace what you hear. Embrace what you feel. Smell. Breathe. See, the present moment, it consists of the six senses: touch, sight, smell, sound, touch, sight, smell, sound, taste, and the sixth sense, which is the internal sense, it's internal awareness of your internal state. That's the sixth sense. The sense that doesn't involve the outside world. It involves the internal world. Right, like when you sit down, feel the ground that you're sitting on. I am. Repeat the affirmation. I am. I am. I am. I am. You are. Not I am this. I am that. I am. I am. You got to be in tune with nature. You got to tune in with nature. And what that means is literally just sense everything around you. You got to use the senses. Sense everything around you. Feel into nature and surrender to nature. However nature is being, be one with that. Be that. Right? The trees aren't thinking. The grass isn't thinking. Nothing's thinking. Only humans. And who has the biggest corruption on this earth? The humans. So what's the problem? Stop thinking. Observe the thinking patterns. Observe. 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 Disidentify. Bro, I had to go through so much time doing this shit to be where I am now. Like now, I can sit here with no thoughts. Because I feel my existence. I'm not worried about thoughts. I'm not worried about what is being said in this illusionary mind. I'm focusing and feeling into my own being. I'm feeling my own presence. I'm owning my presence. Hey, buddy. I'm owning how I feel. I'm not trying to avoid it by thinking. I'm not trying to do something else. I'm here. I'm fully here. I'm not focused on what I'm about to eat in wherever, who I'm about to text. No, I'm fully here. Just listen. Use your ears. Just listen to everything but yourself, your fake self. This is your fake self you're listening to. You're listening to this false person in your mind that is thinking these false thoughts about this false reality. So stop listening to that person. That person is just an illusion. Listen to the reality of things. Listen to the nature, the breeze of the trees. Right? Not listening to, oh, I wonder how they feel about, like, bro. Like, I remember when I was observing my thoughts, I would get upset. But you're not supposed to get upset. You observe with in a neutral stance. You're not, oh my God, why am I thinking that shit? But it's not you thinking. It's just this illusionary person you created that was programmed to think that way as a separate sense of self. But you are not separate. Right? There's not individual minds. There's a universal mind. You don't have a separate mind. I don't have a separate mind. It's part of a collective mind. There's a collective mind. And this collective mind has lower vibrations and higher vibrations. And most people are focusing on the lower vibrational collective mind. The higher vibrational collective mind is it's not thinking, right? Everything is made up of the mind. The mind makes up everything. But mind doesn't necessarily mean thought. Right? Everything is made up of the mind, but mind does not necessarily mean thought. Mind is just matter. Mind and matter go hand in hand. You think because of matter. You think the matter matters. Right? You think the matter matters so much that you had to think about the matter. No. No. You don't have to think about matter. This shit don't matter. So as a human, you are part spirit, part matter. Well, actually, you're not part spirit. You're full spirit. You're entirely spirit, but you're part matter. That's the thing about being a human. This is the most unique experience out of all the dimensions in this universe, is that the human experience is you're part matter, but full spirit. Right? Spirit is the blood, and the blood is the spirit. Right? So when you breathe in, you feed your spirit. They say breath is the spirit. Yes, because you feed your spirit with the breath. You give oxygen to the blood. That oxygen is like food for the spirit. Right? It oxygenates your blood when you breathe. Right? And where does the blood come from? Right? What pumps the blood? The heart. Right? The heart is the source of the spirit. The soul is the source of the spirit. Right? The soul is the unmanifested. Right? That soul, the self, the supreme self, is unmanifested. It is not created. It is not a creation. It is unmanifested. And it's experiencing manifested reality while still being not created. It's a miracle. How is that possible? This is a divine creation. That's why. The unmanifest is experiencing the manifest while still being the unmanifest. But we have been trained to think that we are just the manifest. But that is not true. We are not just the manifest. We are not just the body. We are not just this human being. This is only a small percentage of what you are. A very small percentage. It's like a grain of sand. What you are as a human is a grain of sand in what you actually are. Right? But when you go to the heart and you surrender to the heart, right? You bring the mind into the heart. That is when you become in communion with God, with the source of this creation. Right? You bring the mind into its source. The source of the mind is source, is the uncreated. The mind is manifest. Source is unmanifest. Everything came from the nothingness. So you bring yourself back. Bring everything back. Withdraw the senses. Withdraw all the senses back to the source. Right back to the source. Right back into the heart. Into the soul. And feel. Feel. It's not something it's not like you're gonna feel nothing. You're not just gonna feel nothing when you come into the nothingness. You might at first feel just nothing, but eventually there will be a bliss that will come. A bliss, a divine love bliss that will come to you. But it's not coming to you, it's coming from you. It's coming from your real self. Your real self is the soul. Not the fucking human in the senses. You're not the senses. But yes, feel the senses entirely. Do not be scared to feel what this body is feeling. Don't be scared to do that. You're the immortal, eternal soul. You're not the puny human. Right? The puny human is the small part of yourself. You are the infinite, and the human is just, right? It's a microcosm of the macrocosm. Macrocosm is the entire universe. Microcosm is the universe in a small little form called the human. Right? So realize there's nothing outside of yourself. Right? We're constantly focusing on the outside world, but there's no outside world. It's all inside you. It's all you. It's all inside you. It's all you. There's no other persons. There's no other places. It's you. It's all you. You have to unify the creation and the uncreation together. Unify the manifest and the unmanifest. That is, unify the feminine and the masculine. The feminine representing the manifest, unmanifest representing the masculine. The nothingness and the everything. Bring it together. Unify it. Fuse it together. Marry them together. The unification of Shiva and Shakti. Masculine and feminine. Unmanifest, manifest. Bring them together. In peace, in harmony, in joy. Have joy doing that. Because that is the greatest thing ever. When you unify the masculine and the feminine in yourself, not outside with another person. No, in yourself, because there's no outside. So the real marriage is within, between the unmanifest and the manifest, not between another woman or another man. No, that's the externalized, but there's no external. It's internal. But yeah, it's like when you unify the unmanifest and the manifest, you become whole. You become complete. That's the final realization. That's the final goal. That's the highest goal in this human experience. The highest of all goals is the unification of that, of the divine masculine and the divine feminine inside yourself. Inside yourself. You want me to say it again? Inside yourself. Not over there or over there or over here or over there. No. But yes, it is the best moment in life when you unify the manifest and the unmanifest. Because it's self-explanatory. Whole time you thought you were the manifest and you were gonna die and the tragedy and terrible. But then you realize, hold on, I'm not just the manifest, I'm the unmanifested. That means I am none of this shit. So it's like, yay, you're none of this shit, but you're it too. You see, you are. If somebody saw me just saying that shit, they would have been like, what type of drugs he on? But nah, I don't give a fuck. I am the unmanifested. But yeah, but that's the beauty of being the unmanifest and the manifest, is that none of this shit can phase you. Anything can fucking happen, and it doesn't matter, because none of this shit matters, but it matters at the same time. It's just it's a paradox, right? It's like a contradictory paradox. It's like you are everything, but you are nothing. But the thing that we call everything is just all a play. It's all just forms, different forms. It's not, it's always changing. Everything's always changing. Where the unmanifest is never changing. It is always the same. It is always unbothered. It's always chilling. But there's nothing chilling. You see? It's like there's nothing chilling. It's just nothing. But it's like, what is nothing? You see, nothing, you can't comprehend it. You can't comprehend what created everything. You can't comprehend God. That's what people think God is, the Christian people think God is the guy in the heavens. No, God can't be comprehended. God is the manifest and unmanifest. God is the only way God can experience itself is through a finite manifestation. The only way the infinite can experience itself is through a finite manifestation. You say it. They're trying to be funny on the camera. This shit wasn't funny. But let me tell you. Let me tell you something. No, I got to repeat what I just said. So, the unmanifest, which is the infinite, it cannot experience itself any other way until it becomes in the finite form. You see, this is advanced topics, my brother. One day you will understand. But yes. So yes. The finite cannot, you are not finite, you are infinite. So the infinite can only experience itself through the finite form, through the finite experience. Finite meaning there's limitations, right? I can't just start flying right now. Only in the higher dimensions I can start flying. But right now, we're finite. But I'm still the infinite. I'm just expressing myself through the finite form, which is the human body and the human being, right? See, this right here, it's just a finite expression of the infinite. Finite. It's limited. But there's unlimited potential because you are the unlimited and the limited at the same time. It's a big contradiction, but it's the truth. Who knew the truth would be a contradiction? Who knew? The ultimate truth is a contradiction in of itself. In of itself. However the fuck you say that shit. But yes. Devote your life to this truth that I just put in this video. Devote your life to it. Devote your life to it, or else suffer. You choose. What do you want? Do you want suffering, unnecessary suffering, or do you want to realize the ultimate goal of the human existence? Please tell me. And I hope you make the correct decision. There is an incorrect decision. Yes, it's staying ignorant and asleep and dumb. Yes, there is an incorrect decision. Fuck is you talk about? But you have free will. Because you're the infinite. Infinite can do what the fuck he wants. She, he, whatever the fuck. It's not a fucking gender. But yeah, y'all. This has been Guruji's Nateru. Transmission of spirit and soul. Unmanifest, manifest in one. I say, namaste.